Welcome! In this video, we take a look at the Books app from DailyBuddy. Books is your internal knowledge portal, the place where everything lands that your team needs to know. Processes, guidelines, onboarding documents, policies. Instead of having information scattered across emails, chats, or different drives, you find it in books, structured, searchable, and all in one place. The structure follows the metaphor of a real bookshelf. You create shelves, put books on them, and each book has chapters and pages. A chapter can in turn contain more subchapters and pages, so you can structure your knowledge as deeply as you need. In this first view, you see all your shelves. Each card shows you how many books, chapters, and pages it contains, who has access, and when something was last changed. Through the three dots, you edit or delete a shelf, and with a click on Favorites, you open your bookmarks. To make this tangible, we look at it through a real example. An engineering wiki with technical documentation, guidelines, and architecture decisions. For that, we first create a new shelf. Through New Shelf in the top right, we create a new shelf. First, you give the shelf a name and optionally a description. For our example, we call it Engineering. Below that, you can upload a cover image, which later appears on the card. With Inherit to Books, your access rights are automatically applied to all books in the shelf. The easiest way when all books share the same audience. With Individual per Book, you set the rights for each book separately. Useful for shelves with mixed content. Under Share With, you add the people who should get access and assign them a role. With a click on Save, your shelf is created. When you open a shelf, you land in the shelf view. Here you see all books in this shelf. In our case, API documentation and front-end guidelines. At the top, you find a search that lets you search across all pages and chapters in this shelf. So you don't need to know in which book and information is stored. You just find it. In the top right, there's the Export button. With it, you export all books of the shelf at once. The result is a complete offline version with the same structure as online. Perfect for backups or to have documentation available without an internet connection. For our example, we now create a new book. Through New Book in the top right, you give the book a title and optionally a description. Under Shelf, the current shelf is pre-selected, but you can also assign a different one, plus an optional cover image. At the bottom, you see the note on permissions. They are inherited from the shelf because we chose that when creating it. If you want to set individual rights for this book, you need to switch the shelf to Individual per Book. With a click on Create, your book is created. When you open a book, you land in the book view. Here you see the complete structure at a glance. On the left, you find the navigation with all chapters and pages. In our API documentation, we have, for example, Getting Started, Endpoints, and Webhooks. Each of these main chapters contains several subpages. And just like that, you can nest deeper. A chapter can have its own subchapters, which in turn contain pages. This way you build your knowledge as deep as you need. Next to it, on the start page of the book, you see the table of contents with all main chapters and the number of entries they contain. A practical entry point for anyone opening the book for the first time. In the top left of the side menu, there's a drop-down with all your books, across shelves. So you can jump directly to any other book, even from a different shelf, without going back through the overview. Below that, you can search within the current book. At the bottom of the side menu, you find the three most important actions. Sort activates the drag and drop mode, which lets you rearrange chapters and pages. With Chapter, you add a new chapter. With Page, you add a new page. In the top right, there are more options. Through the heart icon, you save the book as a favorite. In the gear menu, you find functions for the entire book. With Create Public Link, you generate a public link, so you can share the book with people outside your team as well. Through Export, you save the book as a file on your computer. Through Import, you bring external documentation in. The link scanner is especially useful after an import. It checks all external links in the book for validity and lists them clearly, so you can remove dead links directly. The Auto-Link Suggester automatically proposes meaningful links between pages. And with Delete Book, you delete the book entirely. Now we fill our book with life. Through chapter at the bottom, you create a new chapter. In our API documentation, for example, authentication. Through page, you create a new page. Pages can go directly into the book or be assigned to a chapter. When you hover over a chapter in the navigation, more actions appear right next to it. You can add a subchapter, add a page, mark the chapter as a favorite, or delete it. For pages, it works the same way. So you build your structure step by step without clicking through menus. If you want to change the order, you click on Sort. That switches you into drag and drop mode. Now you can simply drag chapters and pages to the position they belong. Pages can be moved into other chapters, and entire chapters can be moved to another spot in the book. This way, you can adjust the structure of your book at any time, without losing any content. When you click on a page, you land in the reading view. At the top, you see the breadcrumb with shelf, book, and chapter, so you always know where you are. In the top right, you have 3 actions: Edit to edit, History for the version history, and Share to share the page internally with team members who also have access to the book. When you click on Edit, the editor opens. You have a complete formatting toolbar: headings, bold, italic, colors, lists, tables, links, code blocks, and more. Everything you need for clean documentation directly in your browser without external tools. As soon as you start editing, the page is automatically marked as being edited. If someone from your team opens the same page, they get a notice that you are currently working on it. After checking with you, they can take over the editing or wait until you're done. This way, nobody loses changes through unnoticed parallel work. With a click on Save, you store your changes. With Cancel, you discard them. In the top right of every page, you find the History button. With it, you open the version history. You see all changes at a glance: who changed what, and when. Every version is numbered. The current one is marked as latest. Next to each version, you have 2 actions. With the Restore icon, you restore an older version, in case you want to undo a change. With the Compare icon, you open the Compare view. Here you see the older and the current version side by side. New content is highlighted in green, changed passages are marked in color. So you immediately see what has changed. Good to know. The last 10 versions are kept. Older ones are automatically deleted. Curious? Then visit us at dailybuddy.net. Try DailyBuddy for free and without a credit card. All apps, no hidden catch, just get started.